morning, children. So, in this session, in periodic classification, we are going to discuss about ionization energy. Next one is factors influence the ionization energy. What are the factors that we are going to discuss? That is nuclear charge, about nuclear charge, screening effect or shielding effect, penetration power of the orbiters, stable electronic configuration, followed by atomic radius. These are some of the factors which influence the ionization energy. Next one is about electron affinity, electronegativity, and then last one about the metallic character and non-metallic character. First, let me discuss about the ionization energy. Right. What is meant by ionization energy? Actually, to remove an electron from an atom, some energy is required, right? The minimum energy is required to remove an electron from the gaseous atom is called the ionization energy, and this atom changes into positively charged ion, that is cation. Okay, so this is called the ionization energy. Once again I repeat, define ionization energy. It's an important 2-mark question. The minimum energy required to remove an electron from the gaseous atom are called the ionization energy, right? If ionization energy is more, then it is very difficult to remove the electron, right children? Good. Ionization is measured in kilojoules per mole. Okay, ionization is measured in kilojoules per mole. Okay, this ionization energy, it is otherwise called ionization potential energy or ionization enthalpy, right? This ionization energy is further classified into first ionization energy, second ionization energy, third ionization energy, and so on. So what is first ionization energy? First ionization energy means the energy required to remove the first electron from the outermost orbit are called the first ionization energy, right? Then what is second ionization energy? The energy required to remove the second electron from the unipositive ions. What is meant by unipositive ions? Unipositive ions generally formed by loss of one electron. Okay, so this is called the second ionization energy. So look at the board. This M is nothing but element. It's a gaseous element or atom. Okay, plus first ionization energy gives this gaseous atom, this gaseous element turns into positively charged ion. Okay, that is positively charged ion plus electron is removed. Okay, so this is the first ionization energy. Then what is second ionization energy? What I told? Second ionization energy means the energy removed, that is the electron. The energy actually it removes the second electron from the unipositive ion. So this is the gaseous element. This one plus the second. This one is second ionization energy. First ionization energy. This one second ionization. It gives this metallic ion, that is this metallic atom or element turns into positively charged ion. Here 2 plus because the second ionization energy plus electron is removed here. Okay, so this is the second ionization energy. So what is meant by ionization energy? The minimum energy required to remove an electron from the gaseous atom, and it changes into positively charged ion, that is cation, is called the ionization energy. It is otherwise called ionization enthalpy or ionization potential energy. It is measured in kilojoules per mole. These things you should remember. Also you should know about the first ionization energy means the energy removed from the first electron. Okay, and the electron removed from that first electron should be removed, and second electron if it is removed means that is second ionization energy. These things you have to remember. Next we can move to factors influence ionization energy. What is the first first factor. First one is the nuclear charge. Okay. If nuclear charge is more, then ionization energy also will be more. Okay. For example, if you take the sodium atom as well as chlorine atom, sodium atomic number is 11, whereas chlorine atomic number is 17. This chlorine atom has higher ionization energy. Why? Because it has more number of protons in its shells. Okay. So, what I told, ionization energy, that is, if you take sodium element as well as chlorine element, if nuclear charge is more, then ionization energy also will be more, isn't it? So, this chlorine atom has higher ionization energy because its atomic number is 17. It contains more number of protons. Protons are nothing but atomic number, isn't it? So, it contains more number of protons in its shell. Hence, this chlorine element has higher what? Ionization energy. Understood, children? Right. If nuclear charge is more, then ionization energy also will be more. Okay. Next one, we can move to the screening effect. This screening effect means screening effect or shielding effect also we can say. Screening effect means it is nothing but poor nuclear charge. In one word we can say means poor nuclear charge. Okay. If more number of shells with electrons between nucleus and the valence shell, they act as screens, okay, and decrease the nuclear attraction, okay, decrease the nuclear attraction between the valence shell. This is called the screening effect or shielding effect, okay. For example, if you take the lithium atom as well as cesium atom, for lithium atom, its atomic number is 3. For cesium, its atomic number is 55. Okay, so this cesium atom the cesium element has more inner shells. Okay, hence it contains less ionization energy. Okay, the cesium element has less ionization energy. Why? Because it contains more inner shells. Its atomic number is 55. Okay, so what is the second one? If screening effect is more, then ionization energy will be less. So cesium atom has less ionization energy. Understood, children, about the screening effect? Right. Next we can move to the third one, penetration power of the orbitals. Okay, this penetration power is just opposite to the screening effect. Penetration power means the ability of the orbital for attracting the electrons. This is the penetration power. Understood, children? Right. So next one is stable electronic configuration. What is the stable electronic configuration means? What? Stable electronic configuration means here all the electrons, okay, all the electrons which is present in the outermost orbit is stable in nature. Then we can say it is a stable electronic configuration, right? If it is unstable means we can say unstable electronic configuration. Okay, right. Next one, atomic radius. If atomic radius is more, then ionization energy will be less. Okay. Across the period from left to right, okay. So this is ionization energy. Across the period from left to right, ionization energy increases because here more energy is required to remove an electron. Okay. At the same time, ionization energy decrease from top to bottom down a group because here less energy is required to remove an electron. Understood, children? This variation you should learn. This is the ionization energy from left to right across the period. The ionization energy increases because here more energy is required to remove an electron. But at the same time, ionization energy decreases from top to bottom down a group. This is because less energy is required to remove an electron. Understood, children? Right? Shall we move to the next one? Good. Next we can move to electron affinity. Okay. So electron affinity means what? electron affinity. Electron affinity is defined as the energy change that occurs when an electron is gained by an atom in its gaseous state. Okay, gained by an atom means that the atom changes into negatively charged particle, anion. Okay, so what is meant by electron affinity? Electron affinity is defined as the energy change that occurs when an electron is gained by an atom in its gaseous state. For example, see, this A is nothing but a gaseous atom plus electron gives this gaseous element changes into negatively charged particle as well as energy is released. Got it? Right. In the same manner, see one more example. Chlorine atom. Chlorine is the gaseous element, isn't it? So this chlorine element plus electron, when it gives, this chlorine atom changes into negatively charged particle. That's what we are putting Cl minus as well as energy is released. This is the electron affinity. Okay, so you should learn the definition, children. All the definitions are very important. Okay, you can expect these answers in the 2-mark questions, right? Next we can move to electronegativity, right? Electronegativity. So what is meant by electronegativity? Electronegativity means the ability of an atom in a chemical bond to draw the bonding electrons closer to itself. Here, the atoms which share pair, which attracts the shared pair of electrons towards itself more strongly. That is called electronegativity. Okay. For example, you can take HCl molecule. HCl is nothing but hydrogen chloride molecule. Okay. Here, both hydrogen as well as chlorine, it gains one electron. It shares one electron each to form covalent bond between them. Covalent bond means what? Mutual sharing of electrons takes place between the two atoms. So hydrogen as well as chlorine, okay, it shares one electrons towards each other. Okay, and mutual sharing takes place. That is covalent bond between them. When compared to hydrogen, this chlorine has higher electronegative power. Okay, when compared to hydrogen, chlorine has higher electronegative power. So what chlorine will do? It pulls towards the electrons, okay, towards itself more strongly than hydrogen. Hence the bond breaks. Okay, here the bond breaks and the bonding electrons, okay, here the bonding electrons left with hydrogen as well as chlorine. Okay, the bonding electrons left with hydrogen as well as chlorine ions. Right, children? This one you should remember. Usually for electronegativity, Pauling scale is measured. Pauling scale is measured to Pauling scale is generally used to measure the electronegativity. Okay, so this scale is mainly it predicts whether the bond has ionic character or covalent character. Okay. If the difference between two elements is 1.7, then the bond has 50% ionic character as well as 50% covalent character, right? If the difference is less than 1.7, then the bond has covalent character, okay, covalent bond. And if the difference is greater than 1.7, then the bond is considered to be the ionic bond. These things you have to remember, right? Some electronegativity values of some elements are given here. See, for hydrogen the electronegativity value is 2.20, for lithium 0.98, for sodium 0.90, for potassium 0.82, beryllium 1.57, for magnesium 1.31, for calcium 1, and for boron 2.04. So these electronegativity values you should remember, children. You can expect this in NEET questions, 1-mark question, right? So next one, come to this electronegativity. Across the period from left to right, electronegativity increases. Why? Because here the nuclear charge attracts the electrons more strongly. That is why electronegativity At the same time, electronegativity decreases from top to bottom down a group. This is because it contains more number of energy levels. That point also you should remember. Variations are very important. You can expect it from the 2 mark questions. Okay. So electronegativity from left to right across the period, electronegativity decreases. Why? Because electronegativity increases. Because the nuclear charge attracts the charged electrons more strongly. Hence, electronegativity increases from left to right across the period. At the same time, electronegativity decreases from top to bottom down a group. Why? Because it contains more number of energy levels. Okay, children. So these points you have to remember. So next we can move to the metallic and non-metallic properties. Already I explained this. That is, in the periodic table, you know, nearly 118 elements are present, isn't it? So left side, most of the elements covered with metals, and the right hand side of the periodic table, some elements are positioned as non-metal. Non-metals are positioned in the right hand side of the periodic table, and left hand side metals are positioned, isn't it? When compared to metals, non-metals are very less in nature, very less in the periodic table, isn't it? Okay, now let me discuss about the metallic properties as well as non-metallic properties, right? So, generally, metallic properties have some specific properties. What are they? One is electropositive elements. Okay, electropositive elements means these metallic properties exhibit the positive ions. Positive ions in the sense it loses the electrons. Okay, it loses the electrons. At the same time, metallic properties exhibit less electronegative character. Okay. Next, if you see the third period in the periodic table, if you see the third period elements, sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine elements are present. So we have to segregate the elements. What are the elements will come under metals? What are the elements will come under non-metals? What are the elements of metallites? Like that we have to segregate. If you look at this third period elements, sodium and magnesium are nothing but metals, isn't it? Next one, if you see aluminium and silicon, these two are metallites. Metallites means that the elements exhibit both metallic character as well as non-metallic character, right? Next one, if you take the sulfur as well as chlorine, these two are gaseous elements, that is non-metals. These two will come under non-metals, isn't it? So, in the same manner, we have to segregate, okay? And then next one is non-metallic properties. Non-metallic properties are electronegative elements. What we saw in the metallic properties are electropositive elements, that is it loses the electron here, but in non-metallic elements it gains the electron. That's what we are saying, it is electronegative in nature. Okay, so next one, it has more electronegative character when compared to this metallic properties contains less electronegative character, whereas non-metallic properties exhibit more electronegative character. Okay, and 14th group elements, if we classify these elements, that is carbon, silicon, germanium, tin and lead. Okay, so this carbon and silicon are metals, whereas germanium and silicon, germanium is nothing but what? Silicon and germanium are metallites. Okay, it will come under metallic property also as well as non-metallic property also. Tin and lead are nothing but metals. Okay, so in that we have to classify like that. This is a non-metal, this is metallites, these two are metals. Like that we have to classify and we have to learn about the metallic character. Okay, from left to right across the period, the metallic character decreases. At the same time, non-metallic character increases, and from top to bottom down a group, metallic character increases, whereas non-metallic character decreases based on this one. Okay, some are metallic characters are electropositive in nature. It produces it loses the electrons. At the same time, if you take the non-metallic properties, they are electronegative in nature. Why? Because these elements, it gains the electrons. That's what it has more electronegative character. And we have to segregate the elements. What are the elements will come under? Metals, non-metals as well as metalloids. These things you have to remember, right children? So what are the things we discussed today? One is ionization energy. Ionization energy means what? To remove an electron from an atom, minimum energy is required. That is called the ionization energy, right? Minimum energy is required to remove an electron from the gaseous atom. That is called ionization energy. And factors also we saw, followed by electron affinity. This ionization energy, electron affinity, electronegativity, these three are important definitions you should learn. And this fact